Alright, so after fighting the manifold for about 2 days, we got the old one off. It took all day to get that old one off. And that thing crumbled apart, and we still had a couple studs in there. We ended up using the like 3 studs, I think. But we got new studs in where we got the old studs out. So we ended up putting new bolts on all the way, and in the new studs I Loctited so they won't come loose. But we fought the old one off, it crumbled apart, and the gaskets were completely toast. So then I took my die grinder, I cleaned up the surface, we put the new gasket on, we had to pull the motor mount to lift the motor up, and we got it in there, but we still fought it and fought it and fought it, and we were very thankful that it actually fit in there. And I seen online that a shop would charge somewhere like $700 to $900 to do a job like that, but they'll probably pull the motor. I was thinking if we did pull the motor all the way out, we'd probably just do both sides and not have to worry about it ever again. But we just decided to do the one side because we spent the whole entire weekend doing it. And I didn't record all of it, but we fought a lot of just dumb stuff. But I'll show you what I did record, and then I'll come to the conclusion at the end. Alright, these are 210 millimeters. Then I gotta pull, I already did, but I pulled these plastic things off. The wheel well here, a lot of those don't like to come off. Then you got one 8mm bolt, already got that out. And then you just disconnect the stuff on this inner fender plastic piece and it should come out. Alright, the inner fender well is out. They got 7/32 bolts hidden in under here, 2 of them. There's one here, there's one here. I think there's one over here somewhere. Yeah, right there was one. And then these plastic pieces, they didn't like to come out. A lot of them broke, but that's not a big deal. I'll pull those out. And then you disconnect this, which looks like a ABS sensor down, or your speed sensor down to your wheel. So you pop that off your fender, and then you just kind of fight it out. There's 2 10mm bolts here. There's 8mm went there to keep that fender in. And obviously I got the tire off. So jack stands, use jack stands. And then now I'm gonna start spraying these bolts here. She's a little warm still, but I'm gonna spray these bolts and the exhaust bolts, the back parts here, the back bolts here. Just spray it all down, kind of get it ready to go, and wait for it to sit in a little bit. Alright, so far on here I got the 2 back exhaust bolts off. I got all the bolts except for one up top. You can't see it, but there's one right back behind this shock tower. I can't really get to it, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. And you can tell this gasket here, this metal gasket, is warped pretty bad. So that's the problem on these Fords, they warp. And I don't know, I might have to cut that stud down. I'm gonna wait to do that. And the same one on the front. So I don't know how I'm gonna get those out yet. But I'm gonna go ahead and try getting the bottom ones out. I gotta pull the starter and go from there. This is pretty common on these Fords, the 5.4s and 4.6s, the 3 valves. The left side exhaust manifold likes to leak, or the right side, I guess, right? This would be the right side. This is the passenger side, we'll go with that. But I'm gonna take the starter out and go from there. Alright, so here's the starter. There is this wire here. I'm not sure what that's even for. but that's disconnected just for when I put it back together. Then we got, looks like this bolt here, and there's a bolt up here, maybe, I'm not sure. And then the little wire goes on that front one, this bigger wire goes on the back one. And I almost bet this is supposed to go up there, but obviously it still starts, right? So we're just gonna put it back together how it is. We'll pull the starter out. Alright, the starter's out. This wire here was not hooked up. I think it's supposed to be though, somewhere. This one here was a 13 millimeter or ½ inch. This one here is a 10 millimeter. And this particular starter was held on by one bolt. This bolt goes all the way up top. And there's supposed to be multiple bolts here, but this one only had one, so I'll let the guy who owns this truck know. I'm sure he knows. This is a new starter that they put in, which these starters are a pain to get you any bolts and switch, and yeah. So with the starter out of the way, I have a lot more room here, and I don't know about the front two yet, but I'm gonna spray these bolts here with some PB blaster, let it sit for a minute, and I'm gonna try tackling to get those out. There's that manifold. It's broken in lots of different places. Alright, go for it. Oh yeah. So most of the video I recorded was on the first day, and then the second day it was a lot of fighting and everything else, and I had a couple people come help me try to get it on there and everything, and they couldn't figure it out. But then I ended up fighting it, and we decided pulling the motor up kind of to get more room was a better option. But we got it on there. We got the new gasket on there. We put Loctite on the bolts, the studs and everything, so it should work fine. The exhaust sounds good. It does have a little bit of an exhaust leak, but it's not as bad. And we send it out the door after 2 days of being in the garage, so I'm happy with it. He's happy with it. He lives at his dad's, and his dad's happy with it because now his dad doesn't have to hear him come home every day because the truck's a lot quieter. But that was 2004-2005 F150 with a 543 valve. My personal experience is I wouldn't get one myself. I don't like working on them, but this was just an experience for me, and I'm glad I did it, but I definitely don't want to do it again. My hands are cut up, my arms hurt. I mean, it's a tight spot. If anyone's ever worked on those 5.4s, they're hard to get to. So hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. I don't care if you subscribe or like or whatever, just you watching it's cool enough for me. Peace.